Trevon, last night, Boston Celtics, LA Lakers in Boston, game on the line. LeBron James has the ball, driving to the basket. He gets fouled, but it's not called. I know you're, I know you were really invested in that game. Take me through, how you were feeling about that. And you know, the referees have, missed a lot of calls before. No referee is perfect, but this year it kind of seems a little it seems like they missed a lot of calls. And honestly, I'll and we can talk about this later. I feel like they're a little too loose on the text. They give out a lot of text for no reason. So take us through that play. How do you feel about the referees right now?
Trevor, it's a Saturday night. I'm relaxing. Three nationally televised games come on. I got to watch Philly. They had a good game. I got to watch Brooklyn and New York. Some good games. So I'm a Laker fan. I like LeBron. I just want to watch. I just want to watch a good game. The Lakers are playing great, man. They're playing great. They're really surprising me, man. Like not surprising me because I know they can do stuff like this. LeBron's going crazy, knocking threes down everywhere. You got, AD coming back doing this thing. We're playing good defense, making Tatum take tough shots. And Patrick Beverly in the clutch hits a three and then a putback dunk back to back. I'm getting up cheering, and LeBron gets fouled down the line. This is all I got to say, man. Oh, you can't even see that. Hold on. Let's see. So, you see that?
Yeah,
You see that? That's all I
yeah,
got to say, man. So I was very disappointed in the way that game went. Clear as day. Um, people miss calls. I feel like they really knew they missed that call. But my thing is, if you miss the call, you can't be so sensitive to just give out a text. I will say what Patrick Beverly did was very kind of OD, and ref got a little offended. But I have a proposal. Why don't we start finding the refs and making them have a press conference after every game, just like a player would. So this way, they can't just hide, like they can't make the call, leave the game, go home. They have to show up in front of the press conference, the media. They have to feel that pressure too. You know, they
hmm
have something to lose. They have accountability. And also, I think the replay center should be able to overturn calls. I feel like that should be something that should be looked at because
yeah. Nah,
clear. It's clear. Also, one last thing. The Lakers used the challenge. It was successful. Why is it only one challenge? I know you get your timeout back, but why if my challenge is successful, why can't I get another? And then maybe after the second challenge is successful or whether it's not successful, then I can lose my challenges. But there were multiple times. That wasn't the only other time that the Lakers could have used it. It was multiple times they could have used that a challenge would have been useful for them. And they just couldn't. It sucks because you're looking at this replay like time and time again. It's clear that LeBron gets hit. And people tried to say LeBron was being a baby, overreacting. But like the magnitude of what that would have done, LeBron's hitting at least one of those free throws. The game's over at that point. That's guaranteed. LeBron's hitting the free throw. That would have been a huge win for the Lakers. And this is the fourth time in crunch time. It's been a situation like that. Against Dallas, Troy Brown Jr. got fouled on a 3-pointer. They did not call it. Against Philly, Westbrook got fouled. You got Embiid holding his arm like this. And then last night, it's just sad, man. I think refs need to be held accountable. They're giving out unnecessary texts. They're missing calls that are monumental in the game. And I know at the end of the game, refs probably don't want to call a foul. But we got to do something to make them accountable. They can't just make a bad call and hide behind, hide and not get any scrutiny and not care and not be held accountable. Something needs to be done. And it's not just the Lakers, it's happening all over the league, especially with the technical fouls. And players are getting fined and losing money over technical fouls. Steph got thrown out the game for yelling at Jordan Poole. Like, It's so sad.
He threw a mouthpiece. He should have like you're not supposed to throw that. Like Steph threw a mouthpiece. Like I'll say
It's
that.
tender refs. We have tender refs. That's what it is. We're gonna start
Yeah.
calling them tender refs. That's what we're.
I get that. Now the only thing is since the foul wasn't called, they wouldn't have been able to review it. Uh like that's the only thing. And even if they had a challenge, the Lakers, on that last play when LeBron got fouled, they wouldn't be able to challenge it because it wasn't called. So
But they review things late in the game without a challenge, without anything anyway. So why can't they
but you
review
can
that? I mean, I know
it's
it's
not
not a current rule right now.
mhm.
It's something that needs to be implemented because a foul should be a foul. I don't care if it's the end of the game or what. Like that's some like 21 type stuff where you got game point and they
Yeah.
not trying to let you score. Like yeah, it wasn't so obvious. Like, but if you looking at the replay, why can't we correct that? I just
Yeah, I see that. And now the only thing is what if there was like 10 seconds on the clock? LeBron gets fouled, the ball goes, Boston gets it, they get on a fast break. Then what? We gonna go back, look at it, and then say, oh, LeBron got fouled here. So that basket don't count. Like that's my only thing about that. Like if it's not called, then it's just not called. Like, refs miss calls. So and players miss shots. Like I get that. Now I do agree refs have to be better. Like something like that. I get you miss calls, but you got to make that call. Like refereeing is super tough, and it's super tough to get to the NBA level. And a lot of those refs are there because of they call it talent. They actually call, there's talent. There's a talent level in refereeing, and if you make it to the NBA, you're expected to see those calls because you have that specific skill set. You have that, you have the talent to be able to see those things. So they should see it, but they do miss calls. So in that situation, I'm not sure that replaying non-calls is going to be uh that's just really tough, in my opinion. But I do agree that refs should be in press conferences. I think it's kind of tough that if a ref misses a call, they should be fined.
yeah, cause I don't feel
Um,
like the little last 2 minute report they be putting out. Like
yeah,
if the NBA determined that this should have been,
yeah.
that's not enough, bro. I don't
Refs
care.
should be in
It
press
be
con. Yeah.
yeah. I want them sitting in front of people asking them questions because you know it's gonna be something crazy. Like you know how they be asking players all these questions.
Hmm.
They they need to be held accountable. I just feel
Yeah.
like they feel too untouchable, too invincible, and like at least if you go get the call wrong, you're looking at the replay. You know you're wrong.
Yeah.
Like why are you giving out a technical foul for that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Now, yeah, now my biggest issue is with technicals because missed calls, that's going to happen. They're human. That's going to happen. Finding them for missed calls, I don't know. Press conferences, yes, refs should have press conferences. Now, in my opinion, if a ref gives out a technical foul and a player should not have deserved it, the ref should be fined for that. That's something that I think because I think technical fouls has become a real problem in the NBA. There are definitely technicals that people deserve. Dennis Schroeder laying on the ground last night during the game, that should be a technical. Steph Curry throwing his mouthpiece into the stands, that should be a technical. Stuff like that. I get it, but Jason Tatum clapping and saying, talking to his teammate or talking to himself, that should not be a technical. There are so many um, examples of stuff like that happens, or they're coming, they're reacting in a way that's not
yeah,
demonstrative, but they're showing emotion, but they're not really stepping over the line. But a ref is tech them up. No, that
it
shouldn't
takes
happen.
away the purity of the game of basketball. Like, I don't care if I dunk on somebody. I should be able to say my piece. I don't care. As long as I don't call them out of their name, as long as I don't make physical contact. Me looking at somebody and like kind of rubbing it in their face, I don't think that's unsportsmanlike. Because chances are, a lot of these refs played back in the day. If you're lucky enough to be able to dunk on somebody, like you can't really just control that, bro. Like unless you're like Kawhi Leonard or something, like you can't really control it. And even Kawhi when he dunked
Yeah,
on
he looked at him
playoffs,
like that.
like come on, bro. Like you have
Gonna
you
happen.
have to like have leeway with that. It's part of the game. Like we're not gonna fight over that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of times I feel like they try to call those technical fouls to control the temperature of the game. Now, there's a lot of words being exchanged, people pushing and shoving, getting real aggressive with each other. Then fine. But just simple stuff in the game of basketball that you're gonna see if you go down to the Y, a rec game, high school, college, it happens, bro. Just pick up, like it happens. Why are we trying to like peck people up for showing emotion? If you
Mhm.
take away the emotion out the game, it's no point in playing basketball. Like fans want to see that too. Like you're
Mhm.
really you really kind of like hinder the NBA from making more money, getting more views by taking the emotion out of the game. Like it's really bad.
Yeah.
Another
And
thing about that game last night, it was making me mad because right after that, Jalen Brown was going off, and they were calling. You saw that foul they called on Dennis Schroeder when he like Jalen bumped him and then did a floater. They called a foul. Like how
yeah.
you gonna get the wrong call and then just call fouls like every time down the court for them? It's just a lot, man.
Yeah.
Last night
Yeah.
was
Yeah, and I'll even say this, we're and going back to the technical files, we're not talking about, players disrespecting referees or calling
yeah,
them outside of their names or being super demonstrative. Like we're not saying that's wrong on the ref. We're saying when players are talking to themselves or they're not pushing the line, they're giving a reaction that's not being disrespectful to you. Um, those kinds of things don't need to be technicals. Of course, there's a line, but there are times where these players don't cross that line and they get technicals. Um, so that needs to
tender
be
refs,
fixed. That
a
that needs to be
tender a tender ref.
yeah, and I think if a player gets a technical and it's found that he does not deserve it, um, and I think they already do this. The tech should be rescinded. He shouldn't have to pay the fine, which again I think they already do that. And the ref should have to pay a fine for giving out an
Right.
unnecessary tech. If
Hold
a
these refs, hold
yeah
these tender refs accountable. That should be the thing for
yeah
us all 2023. Hold tender refs accountable.
yeah
not the good refs, the tender refs.
yeah
That,
because I think it does take away from the game. It does take away from the excitement and the entertainment aspect of the game. So, and if stuff like that is implemented, the players please don't take advantage of it, so it doesn't go back to it. If everybody is, just meeting in the middle, should be good. Should be good.
right.